Well, the suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya still refusing to accept and continuing to deny giving any instruction for the 121 dockets to be taken from KwaZulu-Natal and then returned to the SAPS headquarters in Silverton. The dockets belong to the Political Killings Task Team. He's been cross-examined about his view on disbanding the team and what kind of implementation plan was to be followed. The security expert and forensic investigator Dorothy Mushi joins us now. Dorothy, good afternoon to you. I mean, this is so interesting because it seems to be key to what was really going on and who had influence. How important are these dockets? Clearly, people were fighting over them.
Good afternoon to you, Stephen, and good afternoon to your viewers. These dockets were clearly important in that they were still pending investigation. We've got 114 of them that we've learned were ready for court processes, and the rest were still obviously in the process of investigation. Now, how these dockets ended up being disseminated is what is of concern, because these dockets did sit for quite a while without receiving the necessary attention. And now what is also concerning is, was it necessary even for these dockets to have been disseminated? We have now learned that even the instruction that came from the minister did not request for Shadrack Sibiya to have these dockets disseminated to the National Divisional Commissioner for Crime Detection. So it's clear that the distribution of these dockets was irregular. And now the question is, why did the National Deputy Commissioner decide to have these dockets distributed without the authority to do so?
And I mean, you have to wonder who were these important to. And I mean, we don't know, but Vusimuzi Katmatlala has been at the center of so many things. One, speculates, I suppose, could it be him? Could it be someone else? There are so many different things at play here, but I'm also not entirely sure what Sibiya should have been doing with all of this anyway. He wasn't in charge of this unit.
Yes, in actual fact, his testimony shows a lot of institutional deficiencies within the SAPS. And it's also an indication of abuse of power. I mean, when you find a leader encroaching into issues that he should not be involved in, then one begins to wonder what was the interest in being involved in issues that did not concern him. I mean, for instance, we've even learned that the disbandment of the PKTT was something which could have even been handled by the National Police Commissioner. It didn't necessarily require action from him, yet he took it upon himself to act on the implementation of the disbandment of the PKTT. And this was even despite the fact that there was even an action plan in place, and the action plan didn't require of him to distribute these dockets to other divisions within the SAPS. So it's quite concerning, and this is an indication that the SAPS requires reforms in terms of how they operate. It requires reforms in terms of its leadership, and also reforms of policy and procedure.
I mean, there's so much work to do in the police, and I kind of wonder what recommendations will follow all of these commissions. I kind of think, Dorothy, clearly the way in which people have been appointed to these positions. So the president makes the official announcement of the National Police Commissioner, and premiers actually sort of sign off and consult each other, but the National Commissioner appoints the provincial commissioners. Does all of this need to change? I mean, I don't know if politics is part of it, with the police minister maybe, but do we need to change the way in which people are appointed?
I think as a result of what we have learned from what has come out of the Madlanga Commission, as well as what has come out of Parliament's ad hoc committee, it's clear that there needs to be a change. There needs to be reforms in terms of how people are appointed to these top positions. They should be appointed on credibility, on academic qualifications, on experience as well. And I'm sure it wouldn't even hurt to have these people go through an assessment to see if they are compatible for the positions that they end up in. And we've also learned that there has been a lot of lacking in terms of vetting for these high-ranking positions. And especially if this is going to be in law enforcement, it's important that there is necessary vetting, because these are positions that have an impact on the national security of our country.
We're expecting the release of the crime statistics from the period from October to December last year. Are there any trends we should be looking for? I've seen some academics suggesting that the murder rate has started to come down because load shedding is over. Murder is always the number that I think we start to look at.
Yes, I think the murder rate based on previous statistics is quite concerning and still alarming. Even though we might see a significant decrease in it, the numbers are still quite significantly high. I'm also thinking the crime of rape as well. We might actually see an increase
Yes.
in,
Can you put the
given the
mouse back?
quarter that's under review. Because during the festive season, as we know, people are indulging in alcohol. So that is also a contributory factor to crimes such as rape, as well as gender-based violence. So we're looking forward to seeing what has decreased based on the SAPS stats that will shortly be released. But we're all looking forward to seeing what the murder rate will look like.
Thank you very much indeed, Dorothy Mushi, the crime expert and forensic investigator. Really do appreciate the time.